This is RC Super Fun Time, and I'm Kevin. Come on, y'all, let's go. Hey, Kev here. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Kev here, RC Super Fun Time. Glad y'all tuned in with me today. I wanted to talk something a little more serious as I can get anyway. Brad says I like to talk a lot, so we're going to prove that today. Right, Brad? Right. Okay, so anyway, one of the most common things I found when I first started trying to get into this is all these videos and questions on forums. People's asking, what's the best car for me? What's the best RC car out there? I've got $200. What car should I buy? And you know, you never get a straight answer, and you wonder why you don't get a straight answer when you're looking into it, because that seems kind of simple, don't it? Well, it's not. You know, the reason you don't get a straight answer is no one has one for you, man. It's part of it's like Dodge, Ford, and Chevy. Everybody likes Chevy, or if they should. Maybe some people like Ford, whatever, you know. But you know how I get. Everybody's got their favorite brands. I like Traxxas. Some people don't even like Traxxas. I base what I want to buy, I base it on, you know, how easy can I get parts for it? Do I have a good time driving it? Is it real complicated to work on? How expensive are the parts? How quick can I get them? That kind of thing, because they're going to break. You know, you're going to drive and they're going to break. If they don't break, you ain't driving it right. And when you first start driving, it's even worse. So the next question may be how much money you're going to spend. No one can answer that for you. They don't know how much money you're going to spend, or if it's a good idea for you to spend $1,200 on an electric car, a fancy toy, basically, which don't tell anybody I called it a toy. They'll get offended. Them dudes get serious. But a high-powered toy, and you may not even like it, so you're out $1,200 and you ain't having no fun with it. You don't want to work on it. You don't want to maintain it. You don't want to spend that kind of money. I'd rather spend $300 and have 4 cars. So when I break one, I still have one to run. My buddies have one to run. My grandkids have one to run, and we just all have a big time together. So your money part, that's kind of for you to answer. You get what you pay for. Spend a little bit more money on a car, you wind up getting a little bit better car. It seems that way. Not always. You know how it goes. I'll talk about that here a little bit when I start going through some of the different cars that I have and some of the things that I want to show you about them and where they work best. But the main question for me to ask you would be, where are you going to use your car? I don't want to have to get in the truck and drive to the gravel pit every time I want to run my RC car, or run down to the skate park, or go to the park in your city or whatever. I like to be able to run it as soon as I step out the door. I mean, it's a hobby. I want to have a good time with it. So what's outside your door? If you live in a concrete jungle, you know, you probably might want a drift car. Work a lot better on the concrete than most other cars. You could get a rally car, handle a little concrete, asphalt, a little gravel, things like that. A lot of the trucks, like a trail truck, that would be good if you walked out your yard and you had gravel and dirt everywhere, piles of dirt or logs and woods and rocks and different things to crawl all over. Those kind of trucks will go about anywhere, but they work a lot better. They're a lot more challenging and more fun on a rocky area or something if you have somewhere to crawl. I just threw that bug on you, Brad. Hang on, y'all. Anyway, that's the question, man. Where are you going to use your truck? All right, don't get you a trail truck if all you got's concrete, because you're going to get bored. So that's the first question. And then your money's kind of a question, of course. But I want to show you some of the cars I have. We want to show you run where I think they run the best, and some other places we'll run some on dirt, some on asphalt, and check it out and see how it goes. But y'all stick with us, watch some of these action videos. I'm going to talk about each car, where they're best, and we'll go from there. Y'all hang in there. All right, this is the car that got me started in all this. This is the one that cost my wife so much money. But it's a good hobby and I enjoy it. This is a little bitty car, okay? It's a Red Cat Sumo truck. They make a couple different versions. One thing I like about this is if you got a grandkid, you can commandeer your grandkid's toy, and all of a sudden you got a new body for your truck, right? I don't know. My wife didn't appreciate that. But anyway, a little car like this, you can see it's pretty simple. It runs on batteries, AA batteries, rechargeable batteries. Got a little brushed motor in it. You can upgrade the motor. You can put a bigger gear in it. Got some little shocks. There's no oil in those shocks. No foam or air in the tires. Pretty simple, 50, 60 bucks. Plastic gears, that's my beef with it. The gears strip. If you're careful with the gears driving it yourself, it's all good. But the first time a little kid comes up, hey, Papa, can I drive that? Sure you can. You got strip gears, okay? So 50, 60 bucks, cool little car, well worth it. Had a good time with it. You tinker with it, upgrade it, buy a lot of parts, aluminum and stuff. Pretty awesome. But again, it's gonna break. It's broken right now. You're not gonna see any running videos of this. All right, let me show you another one. Team Associated, this one's pretty new. Again, 50, 60 bucks. It's a, what is this thing? SC28 maybe, I don't know, 28 scale, something like that. This little dude, I don't think it has a bigger motor or any upgrade parts you can buy for it. It actually charges from a little cord that comes from the remote. A lot of the small RCs do that. They charge from the batteries in the remote. There's no battery in this. Cord plugs, charge it in, light comes on, it's ready to go. This is a blast. It's only good, in my opinion, in the house, on the carpet, things like that. If you get rained out, you can go in the kitchen and torment your cats with this. I got one cat that's scared of it, one cat wants to fight it, and I have a big time, me and my cats, don't tell anybody that, with this car. Team Associated, 50 bucks, good call. I'll show y'all another one here in a minute. About it. Hey, how about this one? This is a ECX brand. It would be comparable to a Traxxas Rustler, and I wanted to show it to you because it's a little less expensive than a Traxxas. It's sort of the same car. The plastic on here is supposedly softer. It won't break quite as easy, but then it gives it a lot more flex. The whole car's got more flex to it. Doesn't perform quite as well. It comes with a brushed motor. Like, I can't leave anything alone, so this is the Traxxas brush motor system that I took the original out and put this in here. So it's pretty fast. It's faster than it's supposed to be, but it's still not fast enough. I mean, this is one we got for my grandson. He's was four at the time. I think he's 5 now, and man, he doesn't like to drive this. He wants to drive one of the brushless cars that we have. So I mean, this is fine to start with. If you think you might not like the hobby, if you're pretty sure you're going to like the hobby, in my opinion, if you save $100 buying this car, which is a nice car, it's got oil shocks and foam and all that kind of good stuff, but you save $100 and then, you know, next year you're going to find that all your buddies' cars are faster and perform better, and you know, you're going to wind up buying another car, and which is more or less what we're going to wind up doing for him. So I don't know, my opinion, you get what you pay for. While we're talking about getting what you pay for, I wanted to show you this one. This is a Red Cat also. Like the little sumo truck I was showing you. Red Cat is a brand that's a little less expensive. It's a pretty decent brand. I mean, same thing. You know, sometimes the parts are soft. And you look inside this car, it's got nice shocks, oil shocks. This is a drift car, strictly for drifting. And you can see how low it sets to the ground. You're not going to jump any jumps with that. The tires are plastic, no traction at all, which is the whole point. It's a drift car. It's got a brushed motor on it. To me, it looks perfectly capable of taking a brushless motor, upgrading and handling it pretty well. But like some of the less expensive cars, if it's got plastic gears and the differentials here, if I put more power to it, it's going to break. So if I was really into drifting and it was my thing and I knew it was my thing, I probably would have spent a little bit more money and went ahead and got maybe a, I don't know, there's other brands, HPI, something like that, who knows. But this car was pretty inexpensive, about 150 bucks, I think. Well worth it. I've had a good time with it. Drifting's not so much my thing. I'll show you some shoddy driving skills here in a little while and you'll see what I mean. But to me, 150 bucks, it's a Red Cat. I've had a good time with it, it's been worth it. All right, next car, man, 2-wheel drive Traxxas Slash. Man, probably one of my favorite all-time cars, man. If you made me say I only had to keep one car, it'd be hard for me not to pick this one. I mean, I would consider hiding it, you know. This thing is awesome. I like the two-wheel drive as opposed to four-wheel drive for a couple reasons. It's about $100 cheaper, and I'm a tight ass, so that's pretty cool. It's also easier to work on, man. I mean, there's really nothing up here in this front end except front end stuff, right? The suspension, unlike you have, there's no drivetrain or anything like that like you would have on four-wheel drive. You don't have to worry about fixing that kind of stuff. And like I said, it's going to break. Everything's here in the back. Transmission, not too awful bad to get to, a little bit. Man, this thing's got all kinds of aftermarket support for it. You can buy lots of brands of parts. You can go aluminum, you can go plastic, you can get Traxxas aluminum, all kinds of brands, all kinds of parts. You can make it color-coded to match or whatever you want to do. You can change it and set it all down on the ground and make it good for performing on the street, or you can jack it up, make it soft, make it good for off-road. I mean, it's very durable. Probably $350 if I had to guess nowadays. For the brushless version, I would recommend getting brushless, about whatever you get, again, unless you're not sure. A brushed motor's fine, don't have near the power, and it's gonna burn up. They say 10 to 15 battery packs, the motor's gonna burn up. You're gonna be buying a new motor, only 20 bucks, so that's not too bad, but it's a pain in the butt. You get a brushless motor and run the dog crap out of it, and when it starts acting funny, replace the bearings in it for $10 and go again for another 2 or 3 years. I mean, I've had real good luck with brushless motors, the only way to go. So, but anyway, as far as this car goes, it'll go on a lot of different terrain. This one is set up for off-road, pretty bumpy, non-gripping off-road, and that's the way I've built this one on purpose. Very durable, mostly stock, have a good time with it. Here's another one. Same car, and mostly why I wanted to show you this one is because this is the same car as the other one. Now look at the difference, okay? So it's a lot lower to the ground. It's got a low center of gravity kit. Something like this you could carry a little farther and set it up to run on the road, out in the gravel. If you live somewhere where you've got asphalt, gravel, you know, this car would work fine with a different set of tires on it. You don't want to burn up your knobbies because these things will get smoked quick on some asphalt. This car is set up to run on that track when it's rained a little bit and the track's sticky. The smoother parts, this works best. I just set up one way and one the other. And you can do the same thing with your cars. You know, get one, run it for a while on the dirt, decide you want to carry it to the asphalt, make a couple of changes, and you'll be ready to go. So there's some versatility to some of these cars. Two-wheel drive, to me, simple, cheaper. A little harder to drive, a little more challenge to it, good place to start. So I guess if I had to recommend one, I'd be hard to say not to get some kind of two-wheel drive short course truck, whether it was Traxxas or whatever brand you picked. You get what you pay for. Okay, here's a couple of more two-wheel drive brushless cars, real similar to the short course truck, of course, as far as all the electronics and suspension and all that kind of stuff goes, about the same, but there's no body to catch the air, so they jump way better. If you think you might want to race a little, you know, even like on a track like mine, which isn't really racing, it's bashing because there's no rules, there's no time limit, all that crap, so I'm not really racing. But something like this just performs so much better than, say, even the two-wheel drive Slash I was showing you. You know, these, this truck here won't do as well if you take off in the grass with it, or even in some heavier gravel, as the two-wheel drive short course truck. But when it comes to a track like this, some smooth dirt, something like this, and jumps, it's really hard to beat. This particular one is made as a race car, really. It's more of a race car buggy, and it performs that way. I mean, it's hard to drive. It's a challenge. It's like driving a hot rod Mustang with bad front brakes. It's got a lot of power, just two-wheel drive, so it gets sideways. I like that. I like the challenge. It's what makes the hobby fun. Having a good time, seeing if you can keep your car on the road while you outrun your buddy. Anyway, these are a lot of fun. I just wanted to show you. Similar price tag probably as the other ones, the short course trucks. I think this one actually used to only come in a kit where you built it yourself. You might be able to find one ready to run now. I don't know. Probably find some used ones. This one is a that's a Losi. This is a Losi 22. Losi 22 buggy. Okay. This is also a Losi. It's a XXX SCB. And I don't think you can buy this buggy anymore, which is a dadgum shame, because it's one of the best performing trucks on this little track out here, this one right here. It was built to be a backyard basher, so apparently Losi never built this to be a race car type of thing. I take that to mean the plastic's a little softer, maybe the geometry's maybe not as aggressive as, say, this one would be. But it's a lot of fun, handles well on the track. They make a short course truck version of this, same car, XXX. I have a buddy that has one, and it performs really well, about as good as this one, other than the big body that works like a parachute. But anyway, it's another option, something to consider. We'll put this one on the street for you, and it's a trip on the street, man. Wait till you see it. It's for off-road use, but it sure is fun out there on the asphalt. Y'all stay tuned, check it out. This is an axial deadbolt. It's a trail truck. The model is an SCX10. They make a bunch of SCX10s with different bodies. You can buy aftermarket bodies. This would be what they would call a scale truck. It's made to look real. It's got the pumpkins on the rear end and all, like a real truck. Pretty cool. Mine has a custom fabricated blower because, you know, it's just that awesome. And my driver is Yoda. You know, you can't get much better than that. You know, no one wants to compete with Yoda, right? That's the whole point of these, man. You can build them. You can get you a winch. The winch actually works, believe it or not. These guys that do the scale trucks are unbelievable, the talent to build some of the things that they do. My little soft top body and winch is pretty weak in comparison to some of the trucks I see out there. Absolutely beautiful. I've seen them with beer cans on their dashboard, man. Magazines in the seat, people driving them, seen them working the clutch, stuff like that, steering the wheel. It's just pretty cool. This truck's a favorite of mine. It's a trail truck, so there's really no brake. You give it gas. If you let off, it stops. Because if you're trying to climb a hill, you got some rocks, trying to go up something, you don't really want it to roll back down on you, right? So when you're trying to go up and you let off the gas, it just stops. And then reverse, of course, reverse is like any other one. That is really cool if you have a young kid that's learning for the first time. Top speed's probably 11 miles an hour, which is fairly quick, but it's way slower than the rest of the cars I've been showing you here today. So this thing is awesome just to take it easy. See if you can climb this hill, if your buddy can climb the same hill. Let your kids, your grandkids check it out. It's not totally out of control, and as soon as they let off the throttle, it's gonna stop. It's an axial. They make other vehicles. There's lots of brands that make trail trucks like this. This is my favorite brand, just like Chevy. So people like different stuff. I like this one. Had it for a while. Had really good luck with it. Probably about 300 bucks if I had to guess, something like that. So it, you know, as far as the price wise compared to a lot of the other RCs, it's pretty reasonable. You know, it's not too bad. Do not tell my wife what I've paid for any of these vehicles, okay? That's just between us, all right? You got me here? Serious. Are we on?
We're on.
This is my favorite category. If we are thinking about categories, man, this is the one for me, monster trucks. When I was talking about keeping one car, and if that's the only one that my wife let me keep, I would be hiding both of these, okay? Because they cannot be in that one car pick. They're just too freaking cool, man. Two-wheel drive, all right? Two-wheel drive Traxxas Stampede. This thing's awesome. It's tough as hell. I've done a couple little things to it to make it more durable, but it's in that same price range. This one's brushless. You can get lots of different bodies for it, like I've done. You can put headlights on it, lots of cool stuff. You just beat it up. Huge aftermarket support. Lots of people make monster trucks. There's lots of brands out there. You can get a truck very similar to this. This does well in the grass. You know, the tires are a little bigger. It's great. It's so fun in the snow. I mean, most of the other ones I showed you really don't do too good in the snow. The Slash will do good in the snow, but it just piles up inside it so thick and it's just no good. This one sits a little higher off the ground. It's great. It wants to ride wheelies all the time. It's great for jumping, flips, back flips, like most monster trucks are, that kind of thing. This is vicious, and if you enjoy that, it's really, you can drive it almost anywhere. It is two-wheel drive. They make four-wheel drive ones that get around a little better. This dude right here is one of my favorite of all times. It is a Traxxas Mini E-Revo, and it is four-wheel drive, viciously fast. It's probably as fast as the other ones I was showing you, even as small as it is. It's got so much rubber here. The back flips, the jumps are great. It's got so much power. It wants to ride a wheelie all the time. It goes good on about any surface. You can take it out on the asphalt, have a blast with it. Out here on a dirt track, have a blast with it. The only thing is it's very small, so big bumps is hard on it. You know, if you get a lot of big bumps, this might not be the one for you, unless maybe you want the challenge to try to get through it. But anyway, this thing right here is an absolute blast, and I have noticed that, you know, like I do, if you have kids with toys laying around they get tired of, you can modify the body, you know, and I think that's pretty fun. Fits right on there. Use your imagination, people. That's what the hobby's all about, man. Have a good time with it. My wife didn't appreciate me stealing the boy's body, but me and him worked it out. He's happy with it, and no one got hurt. So anyway, this is the mecca of all monster trucks. Again, God, my opinion, Traxxas x-maxx. I mean, you don't have to really worry about bumps being big with this. You just jump them, okay? So it is an absolute beast. It looks like it might be hard to work on. It's really not. It's one of the easiest ones to work on I've ever had so far. Differentials are real easy to get to. This one's kind of messy. This is the way it looks, y'all. I hadn't cleaned it up. I didn't clean it up for the show, but that's about as bad as it gets. So it's a good rig. It was expensive. Go back to that, you get what you pay for. I rarely break anything on this. It runs all the time. Talk about fun in the snow. Oh man, come around this winter, we get any snow, I'll show y'all, because it is wicked cool as it can be in the snow. So, you know, if you're in for a monster truck and you got a bonus at work, maybe, you know you're gonna like it, well, just go ahead and start with this bad boy here, because it's vicious. And that's where you're gonna wind up in the end anyway. Alright, I wanted to show y'all this one. It's actually not mine. I wish it was. My nephew let me borrow this to show you. This is a Techno 8th scale 4-wheel drive buggy. Look at the size of that motor. Huh? Oh wait, this is a race truck. You're probably not supposed to show anybody under the hood. My bad. My bad. I don't want anybody to know your secrets. Because them race guys, they pretty serious. The reason I wanted to show it to you is it is a performing machine. It's got more power, more acceleration, more top end, more handling, more everything than any car I've showed you so far. I mean, this is just wicked, and it's look at the beef. Look at that. You think you're gonna break those A-arms? I mean, honestly, I really think you could take this and use it as a monster truck. You better keep plenty of fins. But other than that, I don't think you're gonna break it, really. It's that kind of truck. Expensive, comes in a kit form. You gotta build it yourself. You gotta furnish all your electronics. I mean, when you get to this point, you get a little more serious about it. But there's something to be said with jumping out and getting something, spending the money on it. You know, this guy isn't buying parts for this. He doesn't have to. It just doesn't break. So he plugs it in, he drives it, and it is wicked. My little track here won't even hold it. One day we'll get him down here, show you a running video of this. It ain't gonna be today, all right? But hopefully he'll come show us. You can see the way this jumps and handles compared to my little buggies, and there's no comparison. Techno, I think he said a EB43 or something. I don't know, don't quote me on that. It's an 8 scale, 4-wheel drive buggy. Viciously fast and tough. Look at that paint job, huh? You know, I don't know who painted this, but good job, buddy. That is wicked. Now, I'm not sure, but I think you might be able to get, when the paint's wet, get you some saran wrap. I've heard you could do this. Get you some saran wrap, put your coat of paint that's wet on there, put your saran wrap on it, maybe squish it up a little bit, and when you peel it off, it leaves that kind of texture. I might try that one day for y'all. I got one to paint now, we might check it out. This isn't mine either. Very high-end road car. This thing right here is capable of 100 miles an hour. I know from my driving experience and the way I drive, I don't ever need one of these because it's going to be in a whole bunch of pieces about the first or second time I get it out in the street. I'm just not going to be able to stand it. 100 mile an hour. I mean, ain't you going to have to try to see if you can do that on the road out in front of your house? Beautiful. Traxxas X01. They call it a supercar. I'm not going to pull the lid off of it. I don't want to worry about scratching this body. It's just too dang cool. But that motor looks like a Coke can, y'all. I mean, it's bigger than the motor in the 8-scale buggy I just showed you. So, hey, if road is your thing and you live in a concrete jungle, I guess this would be, like that x-maxx is the end of the line for me. In my opinion, maybe this is the end of the line for you. I don't know. This thing is wicked cool, bad fast, and I'm gonna drag him out and get a running video of this one. We've just absolutely got to see it, so I'm gonna beg him. If I got to get my wife to make him some chocolate chip cookies, that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna show y'all a running video of this one. Maybe quarter throttle right there. Quarter throttle, maybe. This is the last car I got to show you. I hope maybe I've helped some of y'all out. I hope you've enjoyed the running videos. And y'all give us a like, thumbs up, leave us a comment, subscribe, and y'all come back now. You hear?